There you go. Time for the right. So we've got lots of 3 T2 air factories on Jababera's base now, all producing Hornets, so that's going to increase the rate at which they can produce Hornets. I would recommend at this point for Jababera to start thinking about expanding their economic infrastructure, so maybe they could get even a 4th, 5th or even a 6th factory to assist in production of this air force here, because the faster you can produce military, the greater the advantage against the opponent, providing they can't produce it at the same rate as you. Again, as I say, economy is a key indicator as to your army composition in this game, because without it, you can't mass produce. Simple. As you can see, my economy is 0-0 because I have nothing. I suicided at the beginning of the game so that I could spectate and shoutcast this game for you. Again, Houthi sort of sticking around with the defense. Sort of got a defensive line here of T2 stuff gradually getting established. T2 laser defense, T1 laser defense, and a T2 artillery installation there. And even a T2 radar. Now that will be instrumental in telling Houthi that Jababera does in fact have a base right here, not too far away from Houthi's spawn location. As we can see, a bunch of bombers here. Oh wow, you want to move away from that. You want to move away from that. I'm still unsure as to what's shooting. Oh wow. Something is shooting at something, and I'm not sure whether T2 air defense actually has that range. I'm not sure whether that is supposed to be like that or not. I mean, it's not even T2, it's T1 air defense towers. Oh wow, that... Oh my word, that is your nuke, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to need a lot of nukes, but the thing is, nukes fire at a decent rate. And that'll just keep firing now at that location, I suspect, with another nuke following up the rear very soon. It's going to be interesting. Maybe it's time for Shikyo to start producing anti-nuke defenses just to stop this irritating cloud spam over the base. I guess at this point in the alpha it could be used to establish a sort of rather irritating fog of war. It's like, stop firing nukes at me, I can't see what I'm doing, it's not doing any damage, but I want to see my base. And as we can see here, we have got some catapults and probably, hopefully, some nuke defense. I'm not sure whether catapults are nuke defense or not. I believe they are actually a different building for nuke defense towers, but we'll see what happens there. Oh, that was a bit of lag there. I do believe it's probably internet and CPU, and we've got another bombing raid in here from Jababera. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. But he's going to meet with a lot of air resistance here. He's going to want to target that economic infrastructure. He's not. He's going to waste all of those, getting intercepted by the hummingbirds, beautifully created by Shikyo in response to the first bombing raid. That second bomber is going to get taken down very quickly without doing a huge amount of damage. That was all in all a wasted raid, although this artillery bombardment up here with nukes is probably going to start kicking in terms of economic effect. When I say economic, I mean sort of, the fact that he's going to have to reproduce these buildings and use up some economy on doing so. And he's even moving his commander out, maybe establishing a forward base. This is going to be very interesting strategy to see here. Maybe even produce a radar intel installation to see these defensive lines. Houthi doesn't seem to be doing a huge amount, although maybe that's a good idea. But what I really would recommend is maybe, as you could probably see if you watched my first gameplay video, establishing lots of different places. So that if one base does get taken out, you do have other bases assisting in keeping you alive and keeping you afloat in terms of economy and military. I wonder whether he's going to go and produce a bunch of nukes and just fire them all at once. Oh wow, we've had some counter-attacks here, probably by some artillery installations. Let me just see if I can spot them. I do not. I just see a lot of catapults. I don't see. I must have missed that. I do apologise, folks, but something killed those, and I have to suspect it was likely something that Shikyo did as a response to that raid. Any form of harassment is not taken lightly in RTS games. If you attack someone, they're gonna attack you back, whether you like it or not. These RTS games are probably the #1 game for holding grudges in the long run. Oh, as I said, lots of nukes being fired in all directions. Wasting a nuke on a skitter. It's quite amusing, actually. We'll see that skitter go down eventually, I guess. But we'll see. But right now, Jababera really needs to replenish their military, because Shikyo is pushing in with these scouts to be able to see at this point that there isn't any military from Jababera. We would just have some fabricators producing rapid economic infrastructure down here. So this is what I mean probably about your second base. Probably producing maybe a coordinated attack, fork attack sort of thing. Again, down here, Hootie has got a reasonable supply of ants now, and they're probably on a repeat build queue. Well, you don't have repeat at the moment, so they're probably just, you know, got hundreds and hundreds in a queue. And as long as their economy can handle it, that's fine. So far, I'm not aware of any population cap. I guess it's probably as far as your computer can handle it. Other than that, we do have some Tech 2 bots being produced, slammers here, and more Tech 2 fabricators, and as I said, stompers there being produced, and some nuclear missile launch. Everyone's building nukes. It's interesting because, well, oh, so it's not Shikyo building the nukes, it's actually Hootie firing those. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Wonder how much longer that skitter is going to be able to stay there under this constant nuke bombardment. And we have Moses somewhere on the map because water has just stopped. So that's whoa. Okay, another nuke. We can really see that Shikyo is really starting to push out with their economy here. No, I keep saying that. I mean, sort of just building more militaristic infrastructure. Sorry, I'm sort of not particularly brilliant at speaking at such a fast pace at the moment, because as I said, again, this is my first shoutcasting. They are beginning to produce a lot more Tech 2 ground military, though. Maybe they're going for a push, not too far in the distant future, against Jababera, especially since they know where they are. And Jababera is not building any military. At least build some form of defence, sir. Or madam. I don't even know, but this scout network here, and this... where was the Tech 2 radar from Shikyo? Can't have been too far away, but Hootie over here does have a scout. He will have seen this base. He will know where that is now. It's going to be a danger. Oh, there we go. Yeah, he's going to want to move away from there rapidly. It does appear that you have been found out. You have been found out, Jababera, and boom, there goes your scout. I just can't remember the name of the actual craft. Here we go. We'll check it. Firefly. Another scout down here, so Shikyo now knows where Hootie's base is. I'm not sure if he's seen the military composition over here. I think he flew in a sort of this direction, so hopefully he might not have seen this army of ants over here. We shall see. As I said, Jababera is in a sort of tricky situation here because they're sort of playing piggy in the middle between Shikyo and Hooty. So it should be interesting to see how this plays out. But at the moment, I'd say that Shikyo probably has still just about the strongest going. Hooty has all of their forces actually combined in one great blob, making that look pretty impressive. But then again, that's all tier 1 ants, although we do have some tier 2 and tier 1 bots starting to be produced reasonably slowly, but they are there. On the other hand, nothing being produced from J Barbera currently. Looks like they've sort of come to a standstill almost, just sort of firing the odd nuke away, seeing what happens there. Whereas Shikyo is sort of continuing to produce these bots and scouts to maintain this intelligence network and see what happens. But they do have this large sort of T1, T2 army mix over here, which will probably take out those ants with reasonable ease. All they need to do is just push out, but they probably suspect that with all of these T2 factories over here, that there is some form of bombing force, and they'll probably be thinking, we need to support this with more anti-air before making a bold push. Again, Hooty's ants don't seem to be doing much, but more are being produced constantly. So go into Tech 2 if I were you now. I mean, mass producing ants is one thing, but you do want to bring out the big guns as well. And another blip. And we're back again. We shall just see what happens here. Hopefully the recording didn't glitch out. If it did, there'll be a massive spot where nothing happened. As I will briefly explain if you're just joining us, Hooty attacked J Barbera from the underneath here with an ant army, which took out J Barbera's original base, which was then countered by Shikyo. And Shikyo has now created a staging point down at the South Pole down here, and has wiped out Hooty's base using a backdoor. So Hooty is left straggling, Shikyo is left picking up the bits. J Barbera has the original enclave here, well, not the original, the secondary enclave. Again, building a bunch of defense. You gotta have a lot of military though, you really do. You really have got to have a lot of military. And Shikyo now pressing down the attack on the remainder of Hooty's base. This is going to be interesting to see what happens here. This isn't going to last very long. That commander is going to go momentarily. Probably don't want to get too close, folks. 3, 2, 1, and explodey boom! There he goes. Hooty has been eliminated. Hooty will now be able to spectate the game along with myself and be able to see, oh, that's how big Shikyo's base was. Ah. Let's see how you do against my defense, says J Barbera. I have to say, looking at it, in all honesty, I don't think it'll hold off for too long. Not too long at all. And again, we shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. It is very laggy. That's to be said, but again, Jababera has only got this one small enclave, and it'll be interesting to see when Shikyo decides to actually make a push against this. Seeing what happens. Impossible to see, the future is. Again, I'd just like to say, if anyone else wants their games shoutcasted, whether you're new players to the alpha, whether you're, well, I'm tempted to say seasoned veterans to the alpha, but again, as I say, it is only alpha. So those who are sort of more accustomed to RTS games, more accustomed to the Supreme Commander economy, etc., who are your sort of stronger players at this game, just bot me a message on my YouTube, and feel free to subscribe anyway, because I will be bringing a lot more shoutcasted games, even some first-person gameplay, and also, I guess, to any sort of developers or members of staff who like games shoutcasted, I'd just like to say I am here, I am ready to pick up that bat, and would do so gladly. So yes. Other than that, I'd like to say that as it is an alpha, there will be updates rolling out periodically and frequently, and whenever an update does roll out, I will be making a video showcasing and detailing those changes. So do watch out for those, and that is another reason to subscribe, because then you don't need to go looking for them, you can just have it straight into your YouTube feed. No, something's getting shot. Something's going to explodey road somewhere, and that camera zoom is really lagging out and starting to be irritating. Oh, and again. Oh, let's hear this lobber is taking a few punches at these armies here. Apart from the fact that they are flying ones. And Hootie has disconnected, as is showed by the greyed out name. I guess we sort of met with a moment of calm here while Shikyo compiles their forces, ready for the assault on Fort Barbera. I was wondering. Why there was a massive gap in the wall. Well, we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see what happens. Again, apologies if my recording does sort of glitch out occasionally. My software isn't particularly keen on desktop, so I am sort of working with that to fix it. So if there has been, I won't know at this stage because I'm still recording, but if there has been a massive gap in the gameplay, I do apologise for that, but future ones will not have that problem, because I think I know what is causing the problem and can fix that by the next time I do some recording. So do not let it deter you. Stay visiting this channel, and ye shall be happy and rewarded. Plus I have other projects that I'm sort of working on at the same time, but as I say, Planetary Annihilation is one of my main focuses at this point, and probably will remain so until its release, and I will probably support it after release because it's a blooming good RTS. Even from an alpha perspective, it is very fun to play. Building more catapults, more ants. Still in range of the lobbers. You want to watch out for that, by the way. You're going to want to not stay quite so close. I have to say, oops, Fort Barbera is sort of surrounded now. Looks like they've given up on producing navy. Just gonna look around, see if Shikyo is doing any other base production. Doesn't appear like it, probably just sweeping to see if there are any stragglers. Or even fireflies sitting in the ocean, as you do. It's all fair enough. Again, something I find amazing. Why, as I've said before, why no military, Barbera? Why no military? I mean, I guess it's going to be fun trying to hold out against Shikyo at this point, but Shikyo does have, as I said earlier on in the videos, the strongest position. So, my Araki's decided to go a little bit awry while trying to rotate the planet there. Yeah, production has completely halted on this. It would be quite useful to get a boat out there, although, as I say, production has halted. Would be useful because it would provide additional defense, especially for any approaching forces, but it does appear as though we are going to have the approaches happening very soon. Very soon indeed. Oh wow! That's a lot of catapults. And that is a lot of artillery units. Barbera taunting Shikyo, just wanting to be attacked now. Just out of range of that point defense laser turret. Oh wow. Shikyo, come on, gather your forces. You can't take it on with just one unit at a time. That definitely will be able to be easily held off against maybe these catapults are sort of taking the initial strain of everything. They are really quite powerful short-range artillery structures, these catapults. All that needs to be done is a scout to go over and the commander targeted. You want to watch out? In come a bunch of hummingbirds to take out those fabricators. Oh dear, I do dislike the zoom at the moment. But yes, all those fabricators were eliminated. You're just getting catapults annihilating this fortress. Absolutely annihilating it. I wonder whether they'll start targeting the commander soon. Wonder whether that will happen. But Lobber is certainly just shooting at a single unit, which I find rather interesting. Yeah, away it goes. So as I say, there's now a gaping hole in this fort. Which is putting Barbera to an ever more compromised position. excuse me. And with your tier 2 armies coming down here, with your levelers and your shellers. Oh wow. Maybe it is holding off pretty well. You've got T3, not T3, T2 point defense. I said 3 because it's got the 3 there. My mistake. Yeah, he says the best defense is a good offense. Except you're not really being offensive, Jay Barbera, I have to say. Shikyo as just, you know, doesn't even need to do anything with this base any longer. It's just all there, all sat, all ready. What they really need to do now is just coordinate forces and attacks. Maybe build some closer catapults to maybe just turtle up with these catapults. I have to say, I remember doing tactical shield turtling in the original Supreme Commander, where you just build shields inside shields and just sort of make a trail of them where your units could get closer and closer without being damaged too much. And there's the commander. Is it going to get killed? Yes, it is, if it approaches these shellers. Actually, no, the shellers have not gone that accurate because they are an artillery unit. And if they're trying to attack the commander can go out and actually destroy these if pursued correctly. Although all that needs to all that needs to happen is for a bomber of some sort to come in and just say hello, and for the commanders to go, oh dear, and then kablooey. And yeah, the commander is stuck out in the open. And these point defences, in fact they're not even point defences anymore, well half of them are. It's just going to get taken out, and the commander really wants to run away. Really wants to run away. Please find the commander. Oh wow, there it goes. Got hit instantly. There is your win for Shikyo. Good game to Hootie and Barbera. Commiserations to you two as well. As I say, I hope you have enjoyed this shoutcast. Apologies if there is a big gap in the gameplay. There wasn't too much that happened in it, apart from, as I say, Hootie advancing on Barbera's position, a bunch of nuke spamming, not doing much damage, and basically just watching armies accumulate rather than any action. So again, thank you for watching. Return to this channel for a lot more Planetary Annihilation coming to you. Any updates, any patches will be brought straight here with details. So if you are interested in this game, or you know anyone who's interested in this game, stick around, subscribe, and even share it, as I say, if you know anyone else who is interested. This is your one-stop shop for Planetary Annihilation updates and gameplay. Thank you again for watching, and have a nice day.